cool that is.
You have seen my sheet, are you? My spreadsheet.
No, it looks like E.T. How many points do you have, Nick? You look a bit rough.
Only one. I've only just got back in. Just met it.
Only one.
I'm driving, you're told. I shall make up for it tonight. Right, I said, people, 7 o'clock. Good evening, all. If you haven't done already, can I ask you to mute yourselves? That's less interference for me and everybody else. Thank you so much. Got a couple of news tonight, so welcome. Hope you enjoyed, learned something. Right, Paul just mentioned there, is that a tree or E.T.? It's good, eh? I'll nick that off, probably, obviously, off the internet. Right, my fruit trees. When did I order these? Probably end of March. And delivery from early September, as you can see here. I didn't get them early September. It was very late. Anyway, that's what I've ordered. This was one set of them. Because I'm in raised beds now, I eat large pots. These up the back garden. These are the trees that I expect. That was what in the catalogue.
Are they from Pomona Fruits, mate?
No, Parks. I did have I've quite a bit off Pomona, but there's that many people buying fruit trees that they'd run out. But everybody's in the quagmire anyway. But when they advertise grapes, as you can see, this is out the catalogue. But obviously you don't get that the same as you don't get a fruit tree with bloody fruit on it. But at least you get a fruit tree. But we'll come back onto this one again later on. I'll show you the grape I did have off them. Select Seeds. The chap who I give my plot to used to be in the mob with him. Well, his son's got it. And he asked me for some decent sweet corn. I said, I'll try these last year. I ain't going to grow them again, so you can have the seed. And I bunged them, as you can see there, on these lads. My old tunnel on the bedside knows where they are. You can see he's started already. He's transplanting strawberries from outside. And they're growing away merrily. Right, the old banana leaf, because me and the hound like bananas. So the skins now. As you can see, the right one I've done, and the other two I haven't. And that's what it does, brings the old shine out. So I do that on all the indoor plants. And then bung the skins in a pint of rainwater. That'll be a feed later on. Right, during the week I went and seen my mate Roy and Bev. He's in Wolverhampton. Not too far from Muddy Boots and Nigel. Basically, I went and dropped him a load of stuff off from down the shed. But this is where he lives here, and this is his front garden. We have permission off the council. As you can see, he goes right to the end of his, well, all his bit of land. He grows all his veg and everything. And this is coming further on into his drive, and he utilises every bit of space really, because he ain't got much of a back garden, and that is chocker as well, as we can go and see in there. So he's got two tunnels. There's one over this side as well, and he's got a few shed structures. So we'll have a perv round. But this is in one of the greenhouse come tunnels. Got loads of greens going. And he, once he gets a gap, he fills it back up again. And he's got stuff elevated, ready to go out. And that's, did I go inside and take a photo? This is our hydroponic system, where he's lettuce or whatever he's got going. But as soon as he takes one out of there, he bums another one back in again. Yeah, that's a better photo. You can see that a bit better. But there's loads of stuff. And there he just planted out some more greens. And there. But he's He's a good gardener. He has good loads of things, and that's like in his end shed, which is like his growing cabinet when he starts them all off. But he does well. So that sorted him out. Good to see him again. He's a good lad. Right, this is down Tesco. That was doing litre bottles of plonk. Chip. I needed some stuff for our presentation art. So instead of going to different places for different bits and pieces, I had the lot from Tesco. So that was ready for our presentation art. Colin, you've just got your little photo in with your fruit trees. If you want a quick input about them, or do you want me just to say, you know, these was they free or chip?
There's 6 fruit trees.
Did you have them given you?
I can't hear very well. It's very distorted. I'll try. There were 6 advertised on Facebook. No, I had to pay. I paid the £20 in the end. There's 6 varieties of fruit trees. She'd had them for 3 years. Unfortunately, they're not. We know what the 6 varieties are, but we don't know which is which.
You should be able to tell by the leaf later on, shouldn't you? Lost him. Okay then, Tone, but that's a good deal anyway. Because as you can see, they got a bit of meat on them, so they're a couple of years old, as I said. Well, thank you for that, Colin. That was just a quick one. Right, I'm still checking my onions in the garage. Nice and firm. We'll go back in again. Add some decent frost. All I've got to do is lift the top carpet and see a worm. Then I know it's kept good. Right, our first inputter tonight is Nigel, like a muddy boot. You ready, Nigel?
Yes, mate, ready to go.
Good man.
Right, these are just a collection of various photos took through the season, because for me now the season is more or less finished. I do grow a few things over winter normally, but the big plan for me this year is that the boards on the raised beds have started to rot. So I've got a load of paving slabs, so I'm going to replace all the boards and tip the slabs up on the side and create the raised beds like that, and hopefully so they'll send me out. So that's the plan for over winter for me. Anyway, this is the start of the season. I top dressed my beds with cow manure, and I'm just raking it. That's a 5-pronged tiller, that is. I reckon that's around about 90 years old. I was told I had that off a bloke, I don't know how long ago, but he'd had it for donkey's years, and he said it was about in the 1930s. But it gets through the soil, and it's ideal for tittling anything on the top into the soil. Goes down about 3 or 4 inches. Next. That's some shallots I was ready to put out. That they'd actually been in the trays. I always start my shallots off in 24 cell trays, because when I plant them out, I don't like to see gaps in rows, so I always start them off in there. Them golden gourmet, but this year, thanks to Colin, I'm growing them Hativdin or is it something like that?
Hativdin.
Yeah. So I'd be interested to know, have you started yours off yet, Colin?
No, not yet. Only the ones that are starting to sprout.
Right.
If they're showing a bit of green, normally, people say it's too early, but I like to give them a chance. They've got 2 chances. But a lot of people are experiencing early growth now because of the mild weather.
Well, I've noticed there's little white shoots coming out of some, so I was going to try and get them into the cell trays this week and keep them in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Well, next. That's one of me bays. That there is cow manure in there, and you can see how good that is already. I always top these up and I'll leave them in there 12 months, and then it comes out like just black powder. It does. That there's it's 2 pallets deep, a pallet wide, and like a 1.5 pallet high, and I've got that one there, and there's another 2 to the sides, and I'll fill them up. The bloke who delivers the cow manure, it's usually about 6 ton he delivers in a go, and he charges us 30 quid a load for that, which, I mean, it's really good. And you hardly get any weeds out of it at all. But I'm really happy with that. What I'll do with that is level that across the top. I'll put a piece of damp-proof membrane on the top, put the boards on and just let that rot down. It's amazing. That'll drop down there and a good 18 inches, 2 foot.
You're the first one I've known to have a cow mug delivered.
Yeah.
It's like rocking horse muck around here.
Hard to come by around here now.
Mm.
The farmer's probably about 2 miles from us, and he's got a big trailer, and he does probably about 4 loads a year. People will buy it. It's usually about this time of the year, so we can get it on top of the beds. A lot of people put it straight on the beds, but I keep mine for 12 months.
Yeah.
And then put it on.
Paul, man.
Yeah, I'm not cow manure. Over the back by us, he's got cows in the field. So, I wonder if old man Beasley sells it. I might go over and have a ask.
Well, I'd rather use that than horse manure, because you get no weeds in it.
Yeah. It's better if you don't get it delivered that way.
Yeah, all right.
Romsey used to sell it £1 a bag.
Yeah.
It was a full big bag.
Nick, question, mate? No.
What you might on, Nick?
I was just going to say about the horse manure. I find that depends who you get it from, and if it's heat treated and it's kept right for a long period of time, you won't get any weeds anyway.
Yeah, I mean the stuff we have. I know the farmer. I know it is safe that it ain't got no chemicals in it, but it depends. Sometimes how he scoops it up, he'll take some of the grass underneath, and we do get an odd bit of. People tend to use the manure is delivered straight on the beds, but I like to rot mine down just to kill.
I think you're doing the right thing. I think if you buy it from a reputable supplier, farmer or something, whether it's horse manure or cow manure, if it's heat treated and left long enough, and it's a good thing that you're doing that, you won't have weeds. I bought some a couple of years ago off a stable, and that was awful stuff. It had so many egg flies and weeds. It was like it took me a month to get rid of everything, just to clean it up after it was on the beds.
Okay. That's the celery. That's some celery ready to go out. That's Latham self-blanch. I've just actually fetched the last lot of that up this week, because one of the nights, I think it was Monday night, we did have a frost, and it blackened the leaves overnight, but the stems were still good. So I've just pulled the lot up, and we've been making soup out of it. There's a celery planted out. I had a very good year this year for celery. I always dig a deep trench about a foot deep, line it with cow manure, and put the soil back in and plant in there. And I puddle all the celery in there. And never had no problem drying out. These are self-blanching, so I'll plant them probably about 6 inches apart, these. And so by the time they thicken up, they blanch themselves, so there's no need to put collars on them. And you do get some nice white stems on them as well. That's 2 I'd fetched up a bit earlier. That was, so that them are as big as normal, because the stragglers, there's only probably about 16, 20 bunches left. So I've been eating them on salads. But so we use these now to get them into stews. But I think I'm the only one on our site what grows celery.
Yeah, there ain't nobody on ours. I mean, that size I got there is ideal just for 2 people, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. I like it with, like, I usually eat it with cottage cheese in it or coleslaw. And I love it, I do.
Oh.
That's the one I fetched up. That's a bread tray. There's some decent sized sticks in it. But you can just see it starting to go now. I don't know if you can see on the foliage how the frost has took it. But, so it was a good crop all round this year, it was. These tomato seedlings, and I'm trying to think what this thing's called now. There's 47 cells in there. It's made by Hacksnicks, who do the road trainers, I think it is. And my deal for starting the cells off, you get a little lid which fits on the top, and you can turn it through 90 degrees. It fits on, but if you put it on one way, there's a little gap which gives airflow. But the main thing for me, there's a base. If you look at the bottom left-hand corner, you can just see that little lip by the number 3. There's a base on there, and first of all, you can put it in there, water, and it'll wick all the way up, so you don't have to water the seedlings. But then there's 2 little arms you press on the side, and there's about the half-inch diameter that come up through the bottom and actually push the seedlings out from the bottom, so you don't have to poke up with a pencil or nothing like that. And very good they are.
Are they newish?
No, that's the Mark II version. There is a Mark 1, which I've got. I think I've got 2 or 3 of each, and they changed the way the plugs eject. But I mean, them all UV stabilised. So I mean, I have mine in sunlight, and there's no sign of it going yellowing or cracking or nothing.
Yeah.
I'll find the name and I'll put it down on it. They're very, very good. They are.
It's Agriland plant.
Agriland plug trainers. That's it. Agriland plug trainers.
Yeah. They got a good depth on them, ain't they? Them.
Yeah. But it's the ejection thing I like.
Yeah.
There's a tray in the bottom. You can use it water, and it'll suck up by capillary. But when you want to eject, you just move the 2 levers on the side, press down, and they pop up by about 1/4 of an inch, enough to ease them from the cell so you can get their plugs out.
The only problem is you can't leave them in too long.
No,
there's not enough soil.
That's right. I wish they'd actually do a bigger size plug. Do something with about 24 plugs in, it'd be good, or even 15. But them there, the beetroot I've started off. I always start my beetroot off in cell trays as well. And I think they might have been Baltardi or something, actually.
Roland, got a question, mate. Rolly, boogie mic on.
Put your mic on, roll.
Sorry, I've got 3 of them Agriland ones. I think they're absolutely brilliant, especially if I grow the onions in them.
Yeah.
Because my big clammy fingers, they pop up like that. But if you look on the Garland site, they have got bigger ones, right?
Right.
They do a 12 and a 24 that are self-wicking, and when you turn the like that one, you know where it pushes the plug out.
Yeah.
With the Garland one, you have it up the other way round with a bit of capillary matting on it, so they self-wick.
Yeah.
If you want to take the plugs out, take it off, turn the thing upside down, push it down again, and they pop straight up. So they do a 24 and a 12, like I say, from Garland's.
Actually, I've just got 2 lots of trays from Garland. These are just the normal cell trays, the 12 and the 24 6x4.
Yeah, but like I say, if you search the catalogue, they have got them wicking trays or something they call them. But like I say, you turn the little bridge bit up that's in it upside down, and it becomes then the bit to push them down and pop the plugs out.
These trays I got from Garland, them are hard plastic.
Yes, they are hard plastic.
Yeah. And they're very good. I'll have a look for them after. Thanks for the tip off on that. Yeah. So that's the beetroot, Baltardi, and say again, I'll plant them like that so there's no gaps when I plant out. Next, that's some beetroot I'd harvested. I think most of them are Baltardis on there, but again, we've had a really good cropper. I think I've sown 3 or 4 different sowings of beetroot. Now, I pulled the last lot up last week. We tend to, early in the season, we'll use it and grate it and have it on salads, but from middle of the season onwards, we pickle it and do it in vinegar, and I love it, I do.
Oh, cheese sandwiches as well.
Oh, yeah, nice thick.
Beetroot and cheese.
Crusty bread.
Yeah. Making me hungry.
Corn dog and beetroot.
Ugh. There's some more, yeah. These are the shallots I pulled up. These are the golden gourmet again. They're the fairly decent size. There's some little tiddlers. I don't normally split mine. I just let them grow as they are. But with the ones I've had off Colin, I think I'm going to knock them down to about 4, maximum of 5, because I like the size of them. But these are golden gourmet. Good pickling onions they are. There them again. These are me garlic I fetched up. Good season with the garlic. This variety is called Marco, and you do get a little bit of red tinge on some of them, but they tend to lose that as they get mature. In fact, I've just split the bulbs because I'm going to be planting them out again tomorrow probably. And there them again. It is a good cropper. If anybody's never tried it before, Marco. I've done all the other one, the white is it or something?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. There's like a French name and all, Germador, Thermodrome, stuff like that. But I tend to always come back to this because it's a good, reliable cropper. These are me elephant garlic. Again, just like the gladioli, these will produce little bulbs on the bottom, which you can whack in a pot and pot on and do well. So again, I'll be planting these out. Plant these about 4 inches deep, and I do plant them out. And they do take a good while. I mean, it can be up to like 6 weeks before you get any sign of growth. And there's a couple of years I thought, oh, they've lost them and they ain't come up, but all of a sudden they'll up and away they go. But these being a hard neck, I'll always throw a flower spike up a scape and say you can use them in stir fries, salads, and really nice. Cucumbers, these are a variety called Mini Munch. These just crop like Billy-O. I used to grow Telegraph, I think it was, and market more. But there's only 2 of us now. You'd end up chopping one, it'd end up in the fridge, and you'd end up cutting half of it off again. So with these, we tend to just pull one off and probably use that in one sitting. So it's you don't get no waste. And say these just keep on cropping. When I cleaned the greenhouse out last week, there was 2 or 3 still on, probably about 1.5 inches long, trying to flower there was, but I cut them off in the end. I thought, no, that's enough. Kohlrabi, again, that's a red one. I think this one's called Cossack. Yep. I've only grown about 8 of these this year. But again, these store really well. Harvest them, dry them out. I chop these off more or less level with the body. I just stick them in the shed, in the dark, in a mushroom crate, and they'll keep for ages. These are me shallots, banana shallots. These are called long red Florence, grown from seed. Again, another good keeper, a good cropper. And I tend to grow these, like Roland says, in the Agriland plug trainers to start them off. But you can actually sow them in 2 or 3 bunches, plant them out in that, and they'll actually force the way out. And the difference in the bulb size is not that much different. But again, these do keep. And say a lot of the big chefs are using these now, these banana shallots.
Good size shallot, isn't they?
Yeah, nice. You can see the size of them there. Then.
Corkers.
Boston, eh?
And so there's a white variety called Zebrun, which is a popular one. And these are the red ones called long red Florence. But say both as good as each other, storage-wise and growth. Very prolific. That's the Zebrun ones. And providing we ate them all, then we'll keep well up till February, March.
Nice.
There's my onions. Yeah, I've had a really good year with the onions. It's a mixture. There's some Kelsey's in there and some Robinson's Mammoth. I think some of them did go under lights, but not for very long, probably about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, because I was a bit late starting them. But, and considering this year, I usually net my onions with ultrafine Enviromesh because of the allium leaf miner. I didn't do it this year. The onions got away with it, but it absolutely clobbered my leeks. It's seen all the leeks off, but I got away with it. So it must have, I think it was the second round of the fly in around August, September that hit me with it. But these got away, more or less. There's 1 or 2 bit hitting, but all in all, not too bad. And there's some more.
Nigel, you're going to turn French, you got many onions. You a necklace on your neck.
What we do, on the big ones, what we dice them, freeze them on a little baking tray, and then bag them, and the keepers use them all through the year. They do. Then go back a wee bit, meat. Back one.
Sure.
Then baker's trays there, the bread trays. I'll just put them up on little, what they call lamp pins or line pins. And the onions go through there. Providing you don't get no rain, them dry out beautiful in there really quick. And I've got a sheet of Perspex which goes over the top there if you've got any rain forecast. I'll pop that on the night with a bit of air, with an ice brick. And it keeps them going.
Nick?
What variety are the red ones, Nigel?
I think they might be Mammoth Red.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's good shape to them or not?
Yeah, not too bad. Actually. There was slow starting. That was a bit of an afterthought, really, because what it was, I'd started the others off, and I was tatting through the seed box, and the normal Mammoth, we used to come in a plastic vial, but the red ones just come in like a little envelope, and I was tatting through, and I forgot I got these, so I whacked them in, and so they went under the lights for 3 or 4 weeks, and I put them out. They probably could have got a bit bigger if I'd have started them early, like a month, 6 weeks early, but it was a bit of an afterthought. But this year I'll do them with the others.
Good man, thank you.
Cauliflower. One of the biggest failures I had this year was the cauliflowers. I think out of 24, I've had 3 or 4. Them was the best ones I got, and usually get them like footballs. For some reason, I usually grow Clapton, and I only put about half a dozen in. But the rest was all year round. All of them failed, and these were the Clapton ones which come. It was a bit of a funny year because they got to about orange grapefruit size, and then they just started blowing. And I know it wore through dryness. It was the weird weather we'd had, I think. But very disappointing. Yet all the other brassicas have done really well, but the cauliflower's absolute failure. Tomatoes, probably this angle though, they makes them look bigger than they are. This is a variety called Sweet Million, and that there is an average truss. You get absolutely thousands on them, and them are like probably about an inch diameter they'll go, but them look bigger than that, but that's the angle of the camera. It's a fairly wide angle of the camera, and it's the angle upwards that do look like bigger, but they're not. But again, these crop and very well worth trying if you want. If you like cherry tomatoes, these are worth a shot, called Sweet Million. Broccoli, my usual favourite, Iron Man. This is crops its heart out. I did 2 sowings of that. I get one in early in the season. Sometimes the cold, they'll like the cold, and sometimes the leaves will do a funny colour. On my cage, my brassica cage, I use the line pins with drain pipes across for the cross members, and I've got some what they call butterfly net, which is quite strong. If we've got cold weather coming in, I'll throw a sheet of builder's debris netting over, which is much finer, and tends to keep it a degree or two warmer, and that sees them through. But these are called Iron Man, and they've given a tremendous amount of crop. The thing I like about these and all, they freeze really well. So you break the florets up. We don't even blanch them. We just freeze them straight away, and we'll eat that all year round.
This is a nice veg.
A few peppers I've had this year. The Macaulay Wonders. I don't know what these are. Longhorn or something. I don't know. I've got that many chili plants. I don't label them all. That was the problem. And peppers. We tend to eat more peppers than chilies. But not too bad there. And that was last week. I was cleaning up. Walked down the allotment. Had some rain. Started walking towards. There's my house there. And there's a rainbow just going through the house. But I spent ages. I couldn't find that pot of gold.
Never mind.
And that's it, chaps.
Cheers for that, Nigel.
No problem, mate.
Good
Austin.
man. Anybody got any questions while we might got hold on him on anything?
Yeah. When's them tomatoes called you grow blight resistant?
Crimson Crush.
Crimson Crush, okay.
Yeah.
And get some of them this year.
You don't get many for your money there.
No.
But they're a good tomato, they am.
Yeah.
I mean, I've still got some in the garden now. Although we've had a couple of cold nights, they're just starting to get squidgy.
Sure.
So, I mean, we're into November. We can't mind about that, can you?
No, definitely not.
Noticed someone on Facebook on one of the sites asking for Zenith tomato seeds. Does anybody know if they're available or if they're finished?
I've seen the name around.
I understand they're not available next year. I grew them this year and was told that they wouldn't be available anymore.
Are they F1, Keith?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they were few and far between this year, but I've been told they're no longer available. They'll be replaced with something else.
Right, cheers for that, Truce. Thank you, Nigel.
Okay, mate.
Right, my fruit trees, they finally came. This is how they come. Parcel all battered and, well, whatever. So I eventually opened him up, and that's how battered it was. And the hound, my inspector, this come with it. So I've got my toppings, my apple, my pear, tulip, and to come got my strawberries and raspberries, and will come later on. So all these lot was packed in here. So there's one pot with a tree, and there's another pot down here, all bloody rammed in. Thank you very much. Straight from Europe these have come, and that was me grape. Jesus, what? The so-called grape. There it is. Looks about as healthy as a ferret on a windmill. So there's my trees. Got them out. And my little chap there. Right, I've got to pot them on. All I'm going to do is bung them in say next pot and a half size up. So they're going to have a nice drop of muck under them, which they did, and then my multi-purpose compost, my own compost, as you can see, eggshells and worm eggs. So my babbies are still working away. So I'm going to have a good brew. So I've got the muck under them first. Good brew, that's been in there about a couple of months. Look closely and see still chocker of worms, which is what I want. So that goes in first. And then my tree, after I put my compost in. So this first apple is the golden spur. And you see he does need potting on, roots are slightly good round. I will untangle him very carefully just to help him out, as I don't want them roots to keep going round. As you can see, there's no peat in this. You can get away with it with fruit trees. So I want him upright in the pot, so I've got a IE pack him in and wedge him in upright. And then turning the pot around 90 degrees. I've got to go the other way to get him upright as well. And eventually we get them all upright. So once I've had my homemade compost on the top, I'll then give it a good soaking. Luckily we've got a nice dry day. Wind less dry. We've got some bloody wind lately. So I can leave these out in the open. Give them a good watering, as we can see there. And then I'll leave them until I can see the runoff coming out of the bottom. Then I know they've had a good soaking, so I'll let them drain off. Right, this little chap, I sent him an email, took this photo, sent that to him. I says, whoever's packed them, well I know who's packed them, whoever they buy them off in Europe. So these have been stuck at customs for yonks, that's why he looks like he is. Plus they've rammed them all in one box. And I says, not very pleased with the chap. So these, because they'd forecast a frost on that night when I potted them up, I just brought them into the cold. Well, all the greenhouse is cold now in the road, so I just bunged them in there so they don't get a check. And this was Saturday down our trading sheds, bagging up some worm casts. Now we've had this half a ton of worm casts for a couple of months now. We've got about 2/3 of the way down the bag, and I've got another bag on top of this, and then I'll fold it over when we finish using it. So I've taken that one off, and there's still worms in there. This is dry as a nit's tadger, and there's still worms in there coming up to the top, and you'll still get eggs and all, and very little moisture. Right, shallots, checking these, them two are no good. I'm telling me that they're going to die off, so I'm going to seed, but they are soft on the neck. That's why I'm shooting. I'm telling you, I'm either naff or plant me out, but them shoots are too long. So then we're going straight in the bin. These are me exhibition, 80th night again, and my picklers. And wine, I'm still doing my wines. I'm running out of bottles. And this is now Wilco. Now, before Brexit, these bottles were £1 each. They're now £1.33 each, because you get a box of 6. So everything is going up. Right, Gladys, cormlets. I know quite a few people don't like doing them because it takes 3 years to get a good flower. But I've still got some good pink cormlets if anybody wants any. Of singular blue beauties, about 2 lots there. Although I'm going to send some, I've got a mate, Jim, over Northern Ireland. I'm going to send him half of them. So if anybody wants the other half of them. And somebody asked me to put a list up of the wines I did for our show this year. And I put 12 in, that was it. Banana, parsnip, strawberry, blueberry, that was a new one. Plum, blackberry, Cumberland brandy, rhubarb, damson. Beetroot, potato gin, and Cumberland wine. Right, luckily there's a few garden nurseries round by us, and I went to this one up by Blackheath. I'm trying to think near the place, but I'd been there for bloody moons, and I thought I might as well go and use
Cypress, Meg.
Sorry?
Cypress.
Yes,
that's the one.
Good man. I hadn't been round there for yonks. I mean, it's ain't very good for parking, but once I'm in there, and he's got loads of stuff. It's a good sized back garden, what he's got, and his house is next door to it. But he got a couple of these in. I thought that'll do me. That's about the height I wanted, the length of it. So I had that little chap. That's giving him Mum. Kalina. That'll do me, thank you very much. I didn't expect that in the post, but I didn't expect a bloody, this little thing. That's once I've cleaned all the crap off. I thought, let's have a look at the roots on it. And anyway, I had an email back from them, and not even any apology, nothing. So I thought, it's okay, I ain't going to use you again. Hound, got a little coat for her. Keep the peace. Right, Rowley's got our next speaker. He's going to give us a little input on his biochar. You ready, Rowley?
Yeah, I'll turn the mic on this time.
Good man. Thank you, sir. All yours.
But basically, it's only a small bit to follow on from where I started last time. Basically, all this is a picture of the pallets that I get. As you can see, they're all single-use pallets, no dye, preservative or nothing in them, so that hopefully there's nothing to sort of put some nasties into the biochar as I carry on. So can you do the next slide, Mick? Again, obviously I'll just break the pallets up, put them in there, set fire to them. That's the top-loaded updraft burner. That works okay, but to be honest, the one that's behind it, the barrel laying on its side, other than the fact you have to dry it, because when basically the biochar's cooked, the barrel laying on its side, you have to fill it up with water to put the fire out. Right, so then obviously that leaves you a problem of drying the char, because I believe, rightly or wrongly, that you can't fill a sponge up twice. So until you can sort of remove a lot of the water out of it, how are you going to get the good stuff in it for the plants to feed off of? Yeah. Whereas the other one, the top loader, when you kick the bricks out at the bottom and take the chimney off and put there's a lid that goes on there, it suffocates it, so you don't have to dry anything out. Further down the line, well, there's a better thrown away. If you go to the next picture, Mick, that's basically how, after I've cooked it, it comes out as either one of the two burner systems. And the next slide will show you how. What I've basically done is I've got a little trailer. I've got several trailers about. So I've put a sort of a grid on it where I put the wet char on there and leave it hopefully in the sunshine and the wind. And believe it or not, the same as Muddy Boots dries his onions, the wind will whistle through there and dry the char out. So you can then, when it's dry enough like that, I obviously scrape it off of the trailer into a wheelbarrow, just to make sure I've got no nails and bits and pieces that's likely to jam the shredder up when I put it through, because now it's dry, it'll go into the shredder without jamming up. So, like I say, it's just a basic shredder in there, out the other end. When it's done, you can see the wheelbarrow full in the next slide. It's perhaps a little bit easier to look at. You can see how much I've got there. That is, for argument's sake, 2 burns is what I've got there. Is I don't know what the wheelbarrow is, 100 litres I suppose, 100 and a bit. And that, as that is there in the wheelbarrow, that's exactly how I scooped Mick some out and sent it up to him. So whilst everybody can't see what it's like, Mick can see what my this article was like before I charge it with something. And basically in the next slide, there's only a few slides anyway, in the next slide, basically what I do, I always mix it 50-50 with the worm casts. So you can see the barrel there, cement mixer. I'll just put a bucket of the char in there and a bucket full of the worm casts. I generally, out of my wormery at the moment, that's a 120 litre wheelie bin on the right there. And of course, you get 120 litres of that and 120 litres of the others, of the char, which is 240. Well, I always mix it with my compost mixes at 20%. So it's effectively the compost is getting 10% of the char, 10% of the worm cast in all of the compost mixes that I do. So you can imagine 240 litres, you know, there's enough to do over a tonne anyway of compost. So, you know, I'm still in the process, and the more you read about it, a lot of people are saying it actually takes 3 years once you spread it on your ground till you get the full benefit of it. So to me, this year will be year 2, you know, so, and I've played with it, for argument's sake, with my stumped carrots. I put it in stumped carrot mix, 10% and done 25 of them, and 20% and done the other 25 in the bed. But in honesty, there was no real difference in the carrot, but the foliage was greater on the 20% mix. So, you know, it's neither here nor there. You don't run for the foliage carrots, do you really? And the last picture, so you're not too bored with all my biochar, that's the finished article where it's the mix 50-50 with worm casts. And basically that's where I am. That I think it's pretty certain. Yeah, that's the end of that. So that's me part 2 of my biochar. What I'm doing. The rest of it is adding it to the mixes and using it. And like I say, I put it in. If I'm making my own mix up, then it goes in at 20% as it is there, which I've, like I say before, effectively it's 10% char and 10% worm cast going on my mixes. You know, it's just a case of trying it now and see, do I add it up at, you know, 40% if you like next time, so that it's sort of a stronger material, you know.
That's it. You've got a trial and error in you.
To be honest, that's where I believe I am with it now. Is trial and error, and sort of asking a few other people to try it as well to see, you know, if it works, and add it to mixes, and on where I've what have I got? I've had chilies in it, I've got cucumbers in it, I've done the carrots in it, onions, God knows what else I've not tried so far. But I you know, if it takes 3 years to really, by putting it sort of 10% each year on your raised beds and stuff like that, I don't know whether it'd be worth putting 50% in year 1, or do you do it slowly and let it build up?
Yeah, try it. Nick, question, mate?
Yeah, I've got a question. Interesting that. So it would be worth sending, as you said, as you're doing your soil mixes, you're mixing it at 10% or 20% or whatever. It'd be worth to get a full soil analysis on that. Send it away and have a look at, see what not so much nutrients, what minerals, trace elements are with it and without it.
I could do, or all I can do with it, obviously so far, is put a pH meter in it or put my EC meter in it. You know,
I'd send it away. It's not that expensive. Like, you can get a good soil analysis for a tenner, probably less than that. It depends where you go at some sort of science lab, and get a full soil analysis so do your mixes with 10%, 20%, send it away, have a look what your minerals and trace elements is with it and without it.
Yeah, it would be that, because the basically the wormery that part of it comes from, I do it perhaps a little bit different to Mick, but the main part, if you like, of my worm and wormery, or that certainly what this one's come out of, is I use, where the potatoes have been grown in compost in bags, I use that to like recycle the compost, and then all it really has is vegetable prep waste from home, like the food waste, and 2 or 3 handfuls of the kids' play sand in it to give the worms hopefully some teeth. What else do I put in it? Not a lot really, although when I done one mix using it for something else, and reading up about this charge in the biochar and everything, it said about putting some sort of sugars in it. So what I got is some sugar beet feed that you normally give the sheep, right? And you put that in it, and of course when it's wet it swells up and does it. So today, strangely, because I'm just really getting another wormery going, because there's about 3 going in the barn anyway, so this one that I'm working on now, I threw 2 or 3 handfuls of the sugar beet nuts in there with it, and I thought, well, why not, you know, put it in from day one and see what happens.
Yeah, we've got a trial.
Yeah, it is, but I did think of trying to put the char in with into the wormery direct, thinking by the time that's had 12 months in there, it ought to be charged. But then I read somewhere else and it says don't put it in your wormery because it'll kill the worms.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd sooner add it afterwards rather than kill all the worms, as you wasted 12 months, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I say, here endeth that story.
Brill. Cheers, Rowley.
Okay,
Now, Rowley sent me a couple of links if anybody wants to look into this further, like where it started up. We'll let them see it on YouTube and whatever. What a biochar. It's been around for moons, but people are just getting into it now. Well, because it works. I've found out it does work. But I've got a couple of links if anybody's interested, and I can, if you email me, I can email you the link. But it's good reading. It's just something different, but it is gardening. It's nature at work, isn't it? Any more questions for Rowley while we got him? No, it's right, covered everything. Cheers for that, Rowley.
Hey, no worry. Look to my next adventure.
Good man.
Cheers.
Right, let's see if I can find me. Oh, go on, Benny, don't say I've lost that. No, I lost the bugger. Sorry. No, I'll do it twice next week. That's rushing. It's only just made it back. Right, new grapevine that's going up in the top tunnel, back of the garden. Get the chap out the pot he's in. Leg it, if you remember last week, I dug all, this is the end of the tunnel, looking at the bottom end, so I've got all this out. So that pot I bunged in, perfect, just about. I think I had to go down another 2 inches. So me mesh there, which you can see, I've cut through, so I can get into that, or for that grapevine to come in. So that's where my grapevine's going, coming in outside. You put him outside, then the nature will wait him for you and look after him. Right, what I'm doing first of all is this is lukewarm water. It is not cold water, meaning when it goes in there, it ain't gonna be. Obviously, when I plant me grapevine, this is what I'm thinking of. When I do plant the grapevine and the roots start going, they're not going into anything cold. Otherwise, they're going to stay where they are. It's just bloody common sense. So if you just lukewarm, give that a good soaking. Good dollop of muck again with any fruit that I bung out. That goes in there as well, full of worms. And then I bung my grapevine in. Obviously going in from this side, so the vine is in the inside of the tunnel. He will put in upright next door. I'll then put my front piece, my panel up again, in, I wedge that in, which he is. And once these sides are dry, which as they were before I got it up, I'll then tape that up. This is the black tape out of Wilco. So that keeps them 3 into one section again. I'll then earth up with all the soil on the grey median. So now I can move outside and sort it out from this end. So that plastic there, that'll be pulled up there and taped eventually. But this lot here, because I'm going to have a good brew in there again. Don't forget, he's had his muck under him. Now I've got my compost again to go in there. So he's going to be well looked after. And then I've filled it with rabbit muck. So I've top dressed him with rabbit muck. Next thing I'm going to do is going to give him a nice water. But once again, it is not cold water. Look, I've got a kettle in the greenhouse. So it is just say lukewarm. Just under warm. And he's going to have a good soaking. So he's not having a check in growth again with having cold water, because the plant isn't cold. Right, now I need something to tie him up to secure him. So I've tied some string to the top, and I brought that string down. You can either bung a 8-foot cane in, something like that, but I've done this for all the grapes I've had in all the tunnels, and it's worked. So my string's coming down here. Now that is a 10 peg, but you can't make him out very well. You can just about see him. And then I've tied that with one knot onto the 10 peg. Then all I've done is push that 10 peg down as far as I can until he's nice and taut. That is now what I'm going to use. And I've tied him up probably 5 different places. All I'm doing is holding him loosely, just telling him where he's going to go, as I've done with all my fruit trees. So there's a close up. He ain't right tight up against it, same as me blackberries down the back and then end of the house. There is a bit of slack on. All you're doing is holding them up. And I shall check them out. So he's about 3/4 of the way up the bit of string. So now he has been top dressed again with wood chip. So it's all got wood chip on again. So he is now, well, the root system there has got a good bit of protection when we start getting the frost, which we've had 2 good ones since he's gone out. So that's coming out the tunnel, and that's with my door on, which I push on, just a netted door. Don't forget this all the way around the bottom is netted, and this door. Plus I got my fan, which is solar powered, and it still gets too hot in there in the tunnel. We've got a ventilation. Right, Colin, these are yours. I've sorted out for you. I'll be potting these on soon because I've dried them all out. Took the tops off, as you don't see, and all the bases are nice and clean like that. The skins are left on. If there's any markings or any signs of any damage, then I would have took one skin off, but they're all nice, clean, dry. So that's how you get them. And also you get in the cormlets as well. Somebody's mentioned talks. Just give me a breakdown what you're doing so far. So this is it. If anybody is interested, because I'm going to go through them quickly, just you've all got my email because you've got this. If you ain't, you can get it easy enough, or get me on Facebook. But Tamworth, compost, Oxford, fruit grower for beginners, Inkley, raised beds. That's this year. Then next year, Solihull, gladioli, beginners, Wolverhampton, same. Scunthorpe, raised beds, no dig. Persia, Leicester, Droitwich, Brum, same again. Newtown, compost. Wrexham, raised beds. Coventry, raised beds. Lincoln, compost and raised beds. So that is over 2 hours away, so I'm getting bed and breakfast. Anybody who gets bed and breakfast gets 2 talks. They get the money's worth. Burton-on-Trent, year on the plot. Then Sutton in Brum, compost, raised beds. So that's that lot. If you missed them, it'll be on YouTube a couple of days after. Right, I've got 2 more talks next week. I think it's Thursday, Friday. So these, which I dish out, they've both got raffles. So I have to, well, I don't have to, but I'll give one of these away. I'll flog me bigger pots, but I'll give one of these away for the raffle. So I'm just dishing them out there. The hound would love to get a tongue in there.
Oh.
Would he hate anything? I have some money for Lady Helen. These are them small gladies. Primula. Somebody sent me some in the post. Good man. Right, with grapevine. What I've done, stood alongside him, and where he's up against my string, I've put the felt marker. So in a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to have a look, see if he's grown. Right, this is ready for our presentation night for our gardening club from the show. Same place, same venue. And this was during the day. I managed to get in there during the day. It was, well, there's been too much of a rush on the night. Because we've got one of our committee members away very well. Another committee member who works for the council, so he was building a bonfire for all hours God sent. And he couldn't turn up to about 8:30 on the night, so we'd lost him. Plus Paul, who's got a family to sort out, work and everything. So I set this up during the day, and then there's obviously bits more we can put up on the night, but basically I got all my guns out of the way. So we've got the bottles of plonks, and we've cut down on the trophies. Now people don't want trophies. There's a chap who won them too. He left them here. This is no on them. So take them back home and get them back next year. Well, he's the first one to turn them down. They turned down his bloody plonk. Right, if it is a nice bright day, sunny, you can see the sun's out over there on the top of the hill. And the grass is dry and it has got a bit of length on it, then we're going to cut it. So that's what I do. So I've cut the grass and I'll put all my bits of wire over the top again, corrugated wire, stop the hound digging. But I'm still looking now, we can have raised beds on here. Yes. Right, that's what the table looks like on the night itself. So all the prize monies are down here. So that was the first one. That was Jean who got most points in show, them were the winnings. We used to dish out bottles of whiskey as a spirit to anybody. And then I thought, well, I don't drink whiskey. I don't want a bottle of whiskey as a prize. So I have vodka now for the missus. So I ring everybody up and say, what spirit would you like? Which is even better for them. Most thing is having so much you don't drink. I think we had 7 new exhibitors this year, which was good. Which is what you want anyway, because you always lose some. And I think out of everybody exhibiting, we only had one who didn't win something. So hopefully, well, majority of them should enter again next year, which is what we want. But it was a good night, and this was Maz. Now Jean usually does our grub for us at a general meeting. Presentation night, which obviously this was, as a night off. We used to get fish and chips. But because it's our new venue, Maz does if it's an home game, obviously Craig's our football club. She does all the cooking in like the kitchen at the back end for all the fans. So the club itself use for cooking, like for events like this. So we clicked on and we said give us a price, and the price again is you couldn't go wrong. So we got a curry, chicken curry, 2 tubs of that, and then we got pulled pork with a proper stuffing, crackering, gravy, even gravy in a flask, love her. And did that lot, and it was superb. And there's some of this left at the end. I asked her for a doggy bag. They get it me and all. But the old man who come with her, he gave me the dead eye. And then I clicked on, he probably hates that the next day when he gets home. So I've ripped him off. Quite a few Zoomers here. Andy, there's Dave and Sue. There's Neil, Paul, Nick, Chris. Obviously we're meeting here. And then we had a gardening quiz. We usually have entertainment, but because of the COVID crap, we couldn't organise any entertainment. Well, there was bloody nobody. Everybody had gone. Because events had started up again, we couldn't get anybody. So we had a gardening quiz. Team captain. Manager. But it was a good night. Here we am again. And there's the 3 loons. Eventually Paul come. And you showed me. Right, next one is Scott. You ready, mate?
Hey, mate. You all right?
You give us a good input. Thank you, sir. All yours.
Just a few quick ones.
Hi, Scott.
So, yeah.
Hey, oh, very nice.
Yeah, thanks. I see you play as well, did you?
Yeah. 6-string acoustic, yeah.
Yeah. These are me chili. Hydroponics in the greenhouse. Just had a good crop this year. I had loads of chilies. So I thought it was a nice picture, nice lots of colour. They're still ripening now. So next one, Mick. Yeah, so that's all chilies and peppers. So hydroponics on the left, and then the others are quad grows. But I've had a good crop off everything this year, so I can't complain. Yeah,
is that a normal crop or a better than?
Yeah, probably better than normal this year. It's just been a good year. Have you had a good year, Paul?
Yeah, I'm still picking loads.
Yeah. So
yours look like mine, gone ballistic.
Yeah,
they've gone tall.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a bigger greenhouse next year. I just can't get in them.
I have to push mine past to get in.
Yeah.
That's when you've got the ball. You shed all your greenhouse ain't big enough. Or you
never big enough. Yeah, that's one of the pickings that I had one day. But the poblanos, in the big green ones in the middle, they're my favourite. Absolutely brilliant. I've never had a crop like it.
White one, Scott?
White Naga.
White Naga?
Yeah.
Send me some of them. I'll have some seeds out of them.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah,
I'll send you some yellow ones.
Okay. They're a bit mad. I won't want to eat one. They're not fresh anyway.
Oh man, come on.
He'll bring one of them to the committee meeting.
Yeah, bottom left is they were sold to me as paper lantern, which is supposed to be a habanero, but they're not. And the trouble is, until you don't know, until you've got all the fruit, the chilies, and then they're not what you want. So,
I've had that this year. I've a couple of sellers on Amazon.
Yeah,
that's been the penis chili. It was just a long thing, dangly thing.
Oh, yeah, but So I mean, I've smoked some and dried them, just to make some powder. I'll see what it's like, but no, it's been good. But the poblanas, that was my biggest poblano. I don't think it's a world record, but it's decent. It's half decent. I can't remember what the world record was, but I think it was obviously bigger than that. But yeah, I was quite pleased with that.
Nice.
Yeah, and my straight carrots, which I've never grown before. They're always wonky. So the muddy boots method. So that's worked. so it's gone all right. And Emmy Parsnips as well. Look at that, beautiful. Normally they look like aliens crossing their legs.
Yeah.
When I grow a parsnip, but I don't grow for showing, but I'd be happy to put that in a show. I was so pleased. The only reason I picked it because I don't pick them yet. I usually wait for a frost before I pick them. But I noticed I was clearing the bed. I noticed that one of those drain collars I'd left on and not realised. So I was trying to get it off, and of course it had grown into the collar.
Yeah.
And I pulled it out. So, but I was chuffed with that. So
Oh,
I give that to my father-in-law to have. He said it was nice. So yeah, and these are my tomatillos. I've had a really good crop of them this year. They're really just beautiful things. I've had them for dinner tonight actually. Tomatillo chicken stew, really nice, really nice. Yeah, I know, just different, just interesting.
yeah.
Good in Mexican food. And I think on the next slide, I think you can see that's how they come off the bush in their husk. And as when the fruit bursts through the husk, that's when you know it's ripe.
Oh.
And yeah, I've had a really good crop of them this year. So, and that was some chili sauce I made with some of the yellow habaneros and mango. And
That's
is
nice.
lovely. Yeah,
Sounds nice.
lovely.
And
It's a really
dip some chicken in it.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, that's really nice. Really nice. That was my favourite sauce recipe that I do. So, and this is my smoker. So you wouldn't think being cardboard it would be any good, but they sell them for these. It's a cold. You see, you're cold smoking. So there's no. That's you put all the wood shavings into that. You buy them off the place hotsmoked.com or .co.uk, and you buy all different wood dust, all different flavours. You can get maple or oak or whiskey barrel ones and stuff like that.
And that sounds nice.
And you put them in this thing, and it's like a maze, and you stick a candle under it, get it burning, and then it burns for 10 hours, goes all the way around to the middle. You see, and that goes in the bottom of that smoker. I think the next slide, Mick, you can see, so you layer all your chilies in. You can put cheese in there, you can put all sorts in there. And this thing sits, there's like a little metal compartment in the bottom, and you put that in there, and you shut the lid up, and it just lets a trickle of smoke through. And then I stick them in the dehydrator and dry them. And that's, so if they're ripe jalapenos and you smoke them and then dry them, that becomes a chipotle chili, which is beautiful, smoky, lovely. So, and I make different sauces with that and stuff like that. So,
have you tried jam with that?
I haven't. No.
Last
That'd be
year,
good.
Aldi did the same chipotle, is it what you call it? Just
Chipotle, yeah.
Yeah, their jam is absolutely delicious, man. The jar
Yeah.
lasted a week. A week.
Oh, I'll try some of that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So so that's just me dehydrating, and then that's the muck heap I went. I've recently found. It's a mixture. They've got all sorts of animals there: horses and goats and donkeys and all sorts of things. And they that whole thing is just a mound of. And I picked around and I dug around. I think the next slide, Mick, you can see is there's look at them worms. Look at that. Just put my spade in. I thought, yeah, that'll do me. So I filled up the van with that, and then the next one is good brew, and that's where I get me black gold.
That's a lake.
It is. I had to get me wellies on.
We've got swimming in that, Paul.
Yeah.
Have a dip. A mud bath.
I think that's cow's muck, that one, but the farmer lets you take the runoff.
But
So I went no, it's all right.
Yeah.
So I went and got me 20 litre can, but it can be fraught with danger, as the next slide I think will probably show you. I was carrying it round from the car onto the plot, and it just disintegrated, it just shattered, and I just got covered in.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
And that was an hour of my life. I didn't ever get back again, so I had to go back, get another container, go back and get some more. But yeah, so I got covered. Yeah, the wife.
Did you have a shower outside?
Yeah, did you? Stripped off outside. Wasn't allowed in the house. Yeah.
That's got brittle with the sun.
Yeah, it's been out. To be honest, it's my own fault. It's been out in, I keep it down the plot and then chuck it into my watering can when I'm doing my composting and stuff. So it's been out 3 or 4 years. So it's had frost and sun. And so I'll just remember to, like do it every couple of years. I get a new container. So, but yeah, that was quite comical. So, and then, I was clearing me raised bed of just weeds and stuff, and I come across that. It was a hedgehog. I don't know how it got in there. It's 2 foot tall, this bed, and hedgehog buried itself in the corner of the bed. So So I found some straw and put some straw over it, and then all the weeds, any weeds I picked up, I just put them on top of that as well. Hopefully, that'll see out the winter.
Good man.
Yeah, so there's me parsnips there in the middle. But yeah, so I've just top dressed that bed around the parsnips, and then I've covered it as well now. So yeah, with the hedgehog still in there.
Nice raised bed there, Scott.
Yeah, the Mick way. And then that's just a silly photo. We went on holiday, walked along the canal, and then I just thought that was funny. Cat asleep in the bird table. I think that's it, isn't it, Mick?
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you for that, Scott.
No problem. But I'd just like to say thanks, Mick, for this Zoom talk. I've learned so much this year, and I've grown the best parsnips and the best carrots, and I've probably learned something off everybody that's done a talk on here through the year. It's been good, isn't it?
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. It's good, isn't it? No, I haven't. No, really bananas. No.
Oh man, you get some bananas next year, Scott.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah. So, but it's been good, So I've learned a lot. So thanks, everybody.
Good man. Cheers for that, Scott.
Cheers, Mick.
Cheers, Scott.
Right,
Cheers,
this
Colin.
is Pete, my twin brother. He's either climbing mountains or jumping off them. That was last week, but I thought it was a good photo, so we'll share that with you and all. Right, one of our first frosts. This was during the week. Alstrom area, still standing up nice and, well, not nice and straight, but I'm still going because the bloody wind's knocked them over. And some I put in earlier and have survived is the black-eyed Susie. And as you can see there, he started spreading. So hopefully he will be there ready for next year as well. So I've covered all this. See where my netting is, just stop the cats crapping everywhere. But hopefully that'll cover next week. Next year, give me a bit of ground cover. Right, this is a talk I did up Solihull last Thursday night. Luckily a nice big room. And the screen which they use to pull down to keep the sun out makes a perfect screen. So it was like being at the cinema. It was huge. This talk was growing wine from plot produce, and they'd just come out of one talk straight into mine. U3A talks, I'm called. It's what the pensioners have during the week, a weekday for the old ones, and they have different subjects. The talk before me was a bloke who was on the Royal Yacht. I've got his details and all. Those talks are getting sparse. But as normal, 90% of the audience are women, and about lasting the men. But it was a good turnout, and this was their first day of back into talks again. But it was good. And on the way back home, I have to go past my llama farm, so I legged it in there because I need a bit more muck. And that was just over the hill, but I said I do to him, and then I started legging it, looking for the llama and alpaca, because they've got both, as you can see there, which one's which. So I've got my best desert boots on, obviously coming from doing my talk, so they got a bit wet, but I needed me alpaca book. Look at that.
Black gold.
You feeling hungry, Paul?
No, not that hungry.
And this was on the Friday night from the presentation night before. This is me doggy bag I bought back home. So I had the chicken curry leftovers on some chips, and there was enough left next day for dinner Saturday before I went down the shed again. Passed in. Right, large red poppy seeds, the big large red ones with a black large inner, like a proper poppy, but these are the big buggers. If anybody does want any seed, there's 3 ass so far.
Yes, please.
I've got a bit left. Who said yes then?
Me, Paul.
And us, Mick, David too.
Hey.
I saw them. That was cracking. They was.
Also got some Vinthroop strain onion seed. I meant to get a photo. Vinthroop's been growing onions on leeks, I think, for young plants leeks. But he was that good with his onions. Obviously, he's got his own strain and the shape of it. I mean, if I'd have got time, I'd have got a photo of his when he used to show his onions. But these were sent to me during the week. I'll pack it up. There's 2 of these gone already, so there's 14 dollops left if anybody wants any. Colin, I've sent yours in the post.
All right, mate. Thanks, mate. Cheers. They've been through onions are the best shaped onions I've ever seen. If somebody, you need to have a look at the picture because they're just beautiful if you grow them right.
They are a good one.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants them, just message me after. But obviously, stamped addressed envelope. Right, avocado. If you remember, I think it was last Christmas. Ben come on and we started with these off. He done one at home in his conservatory, and it was doing well. The cockabye made, I threw it outside, and all the leaves dried off. They was going crinkly, black, and crap. But that's what I chopped off there. You can see where I chopped his head off because he was naff. Obviously, he's got to survive. So there's another little shoot down there, but that shoot come up because it's the next highest one. So that's my new shoot now. But since then, I brought him inside the cold end of the greenhouse, which is in here, and this is nice and green, how they're supposed to be. So avocado, no good outside. You got to keep them inside. Obviously, if you want to look after them, keep the plant nice. But this will be going to our Bring and Buy the Gardening Club next June. I'm bugging down there. Just go back on that one, and there's me sunflower drying off. Right, there's me fruit trees. 4 of them potted on, up against the wall. So if we do get a frost, then they've got a bit of protection from the wall itself. Obviously, if it goes down to a -1 or 2, then I shall put these back into the cold greenhouse. I don't want to lose them or give them a checking growth. Shallots, let's sort them out. Somebody's mentioned them before. Potting on, getting close. So exhibition and pickling. Right, getting these up top of the garden. Just go back on that raised bed again, because I'm more on raised beds, like the raised beds I've got in now up the back garden. They're all from me working from waist height, meaning there's no bending. I just stand up straight and I can work on the bed. You got to think when you get old, all the raised beds which I've got up here, my tunnel, I've dug down in the tunnel, so while I'm standing up, that bed then, which is soil level, but it is waist height to me, if that makes sense. So that's my workbench, so that's where I'm going to work from. I'm using Clover multi-purpose compost because we've got it. When we run out, then obviously I've got to use my own compost, but now I've only got one compost bin up the back garden. I want to use that compost, like now, top dressing for all the raised beds. So starting off stuff, I'm using the Clover. So small decent pots, these are 8 of the night. If the skins or any are soft, then I shall bin them straight away. So my pot's just filled lightly, no fermenting, nothing. And then I will pick the pot up and then just tap it on my palm and my next hand. So that compresses the soil slightly. It's just compacting itself. Then I just push him in normal, slightly keeping him upright, exactly the same as planting the onion set outside in the garden. And then just top him up. Do all them lot. So them four there, they was naff. These have got soft necks, so them are going to be no good. That one there, if you look, you can see where he's gone to seed from last year. So, and these were exhibited at our show last year, because this was a bag of shallots I bought back, obviously for me this year. So that one was exhibited like that. Right, all done, all my exhibition ones anyway. Then I will water them, but no water is going to get in the necks. If any water gets in there, it's got a chance of rotting off. It ain't got nowhere to go or nothing, so I'll just water around them. Let them drain, get me tray out, bung them in there, and just bung them in the greenhouse. Right, the other shallots, picklers, into the loft. This is what Colin sent me earlier on during the year. Good lad. Now they're coming into use, starting off, because I should use all these for pickling, well, pricking out everything, pricking out stage. Well, there's a nice shallot, as you can see. He's still got the raffia on from when he was in a little class of, might have been 12 shallots or a small class. So I thought I took them off all, but I think there was 2 more I've left on. So them are taken off. He's nice and firm, good shape, so he's going to get going in. He's going to get planted. I think them lot I threw out. And then, so them are decent ones on the bottom. Good shape, good size. Right, plastic drinking cups, drainage holes. All I do is put 2 slits in the bottom of the plastic drinking cups. So they're nice small holes. That's all I need. I do exactly the same and then just fill them up to the rim. Tap them down with your other hand, or tap them the cup onto my hand, and that'll go down slightly. Then they're put in upright again, exactly the same, watered. 15 tray insert, full size seed tray. Plastic drinking cups sit nicely into them, meaning you can move them around the greenhouse, take them outside if it's nice and sunny or whatever. And originally I used to start off with the compost in the tray insert, but then when these get too big and you have to get them out or move them, you used to knacker the tray insert up. So then I went to drinking cups, meaning these will last your moons, but you ain't going to ruin them or nothing. And it's easy to use plastic drinking cups, which are perfect. So that's my exhibition of shallots done, and my pickling shallots. Cold end of the greenhouse. There's me grape. I'm going to see what it comes to, my original one. Right, there's some more gladdies. I've got to sort of make Jim out in Northern Ireland and all. I'm going to send him a few, some cormlets, a bit of seed, but I'm going to send him a couple of gladdies. So I think these I took down to the shed with me Saturday as well. Give me something to do if I've got nothing down there, but chocker anyway. But I did manage to job them. I topped and tailed them and got the cormets on. And again, I went and did some more weighing out of the worm cast and another horde of worms, which I did bring back anyway. So that lot, which I remember when I put my grapevine in, that was then top dressed with spent tops underneath, then me spent mushroom compost, then the gaffer come see what my car is doing right, and then the worm cast on top of that. This lot will now get forked in, when I used to just mix it with a hand fork as a top dressing. but now I use a large fork, so it goes right. It is all mixed well down, so it's a fork's depth. But from now on, with all the beds, they'll just be top dressed. They won't get forked again. There's a hound helping me out. But that's nice and level now, and filled it back up. Well, not filled it back up, but near enough level with the edge of there and the curbing which I've got down this side. So my next thing is my rabbit muck. So I spread that nice and evenly, but I've got to watch the hound because I like eating the bloody rabbit muck. I don't bloody hate anything. And I've got 2 more wines to sort out, and the next one is this one.
But you said 2 more wives.
Yeah. You bloody get away with that. One's enough, cock. Very much. So my raspberry, but it does look cloudy as a ferret. But don't forget, he's been in there over 6 months, so it's only dust and murk. So once I have cleaned him off the outside of the bottle, then he looks a bit clearer. Don't forget, he's a dark wine anyway. But he should be settled by tomorrow. I'll still have a closer look at the chap.
You filter it, Mick?
When I rack it off,
Yeah.
just I'll leave all the crap on the bottom before I start sucking that up.
What do you do with the crap?
Compost heap.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Worms love it.
They get pissed as well.
And Saturday, finishing the shed, and what was on tea time? England, Tonga. Well done, boys. Boston game. Like me rugby. And people, that is it for tonight. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Next week will be the last Zoom for this year.
What?
After that, these won't go on for this long. I've got competition Sunday after that. I'm a celebrity, get me out of here.
Oh, Mick, get me out of here.
So next one will be the last one for this year, and I'll gear the date hopefully to start up again next year. But I mean, even if there's only just us lot, I don't know, participants, there's only 19. I think there's more than that. But as Scott said, he's enjoying it, he's learning. That's what it's all about. Just everybody giving their different bits of tips.
And me.
But,
That's very good. Especially we couldn't sort of have 3/4 of an hour every Sunday, just having a general chat, just to keep in touch. I don't know how we could arrange that. I thought it might be a good idea. I don't know what.
You could sing us a song, Colin, as well.
Eh?
You could sing us a song.
Oh, you wouldn't want that, mate.
With a guitar.
He'd be alright, look, you don't put his mic on.
Can I just ask, is it me that just has trouble with the sound on these, or does everybody else experience a bit of trouble? Because
you got to get right up against the mic.
Now, early on, the sound was coming across, and people were speaking like this.
That's your internet, that is.
Is it my internet?
Yeah, your internet.
Put 50p in the meter.
Who you got?
I'll have to get somebody to look at it. So.
What internet you on?
Virgin.
Oh, say no more.
Well, that.
Say no more.
Who do you
I'll come off then.
For?
I'm BT. Fast as a fart.
I'm
alright with Virgin.
Yeah. Depends what speed you got, Colin.
Well, they tell me it's the fastest they can. Is it 100? What's
you on fibre? Fibre?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the fastest one, I don't know.
But I don't have any trouble with anything else other than this Zoom meeting. It's strange. I'll have to get somebody to come and have a look at it for me, because I'm not technical at all. So
that's the Amazon man when he comes in.
Pardon?
Ask the Amazon man when he comes round.
This time we get delivery.
Ask him. He might have a look for you.
I need some help somewhere.
How often do you turn it off and reboot it? Because mine, I'm on GigaClear down here, and I get 300 down here, right? But periodically, probably once a fortnight, it sort of seems to jam up a bit, and you turn it off, wait 5 minutes, and then turn it all back on again, and it clears, and you're back up to your 300 all the while then.
Yeah.
Your Wi-Fi, yeah.
You do that, Colin?
I switch my computer off every night.
No, the router.
The router. Oh, right, the router. Oh, no. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
switch everything off.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
It's worth it. I'm not saying it's going to cure it, but it's certainly worth a try. It don't cost no. Does it?
Yeah.
Turn the electric off.
Sometimes it does, it works.
I do mine once a month.
I'll try that.
Once a month.
Yeah.
Colin, have you tried a Wi-Fi booster?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah, you just plug it into the room. It's got a little aerial gadget on that, and it obviously increases the frequency between your router down into the room. So it's dependent on your walls and etc. in the house whether the wave is getting through down to the room.
And depends where your box is as well.
Yeah.
Well, my box is in the other room, in the where the missus watches the TV. So between there and this computer, there's a big chimney breast. There's 1, 2, 3 walls actually. I'll
you
get
should know about that. Amazon. Your mate off bloody Amazon will get you one of them.
Good hammer, knock a wall down.
When he come here, he bought us one. We got one plugged in, top of the landing.
Yeah.
Like for in here, and for when he was in his bedroom.
Yeah. Just improve.
I'll phone my mate up tomorrow and let him come and have a look. And,
I'll get some.
I've got 2 boosters.
Plug it in the room you're in now. That'll be perfect.
All right, we'll see how we get on.
Don't worry too much, because I know you just found out how to get my picture up.
Hey, there he is. There he is.
We're all learning.
Seriously, I've only just found out how to do it. I've watched the whole bloody Zoom, and I've just this minute found this button here that says video. Technology, who needs it?
I'm glad I'm not on my own, Paul. Well,
you're not on your own.
Paul, do you want us to start again?
See you now.
You can do if you want.
No, you can suck egg. You can watch it on your
what sort of music you play, Scott?
Rock, mostly.
Rock. Are you in the group?
Yeah, I've been a couple actually.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah.
One called Def Leppard and I made it. Is in them?
Yeah, we do a bit of that.
Yeah, right.
Bit of Whitesnake.
Yeah, yeah.
I like Whitesnake. I like them.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in an 80s rock sort of tribute sort of band, and then just another.
Bon Jovi.
Yeah, a bit of Bon Jovi. Yeah.
God. Come on, then, Scott, sing us a song.
What they're called?
Yankee Rose.
Yankee Rose.
Yankee Rose.
And then the other one's called Fleece. They're just a pub band, just like
Writing
covers.
that down now, Scott, as well.
Oh, I know. God,
Hey, Mick.
Man comes, have you heard of these?
See me dressed up like an idiot.
Mick, we can book you for next year's presentation night.
Yeah, get him, man.
You sing us a song.
Yeah, you won't get me singing a song, that's for sure.
Oh, no. You're a guitarist, isn't
Yeah. Hide behind me bass. Stand at the back.
Chap over the roads in a popular group round here. Sounds similar to you. 5-piece. They're called the Jagged Rocks.
Oh yeah.
Jagged Rock. Very good. Very entertaining. They get everybody up and dancing. So.
Even you go.
No.
Cheers, Keith.
Cheers, Mick. Take care.
Hey, where was Susan
Cheers,
Kirk
Mick.
tonight?
Sorry?
Where was Susan Kirk tonight?
I don't know.
And Steve.
Aye, what are they up to?
Yeah, it has been quiet.
Yeah, it's been quiet, hasn't it?
Hey?
You'll have a public warning if he was on tonight.
Was he shouts, doesn't he?
Right, if anybody wants any of them to see, don't forget, just email me or message me.
I've already done it.
Poppy seed and the what's it? Yeah.
I'll have some poppy seed, Mick. I'll send you an envelope again, mate.
Good man.
Good opium seed, Colin.
Eh?
Opium seed. That's what it is.
I've got one for Scott. 460 grams the poblano.
Was it?
The biggest one.
Wow. That's huge.
How big's that? In pound?
It's just over a pound.
Just over a pound. It's like a bag of sugar, man.
Yeah.
Big, you know.
Well, that biggest one I had was nearly 200 grams. And I was chuffed for that. But that's twice the size. Well, more than twice the size, isn't it?
Yeah.
You need to feed it more, Scott. Give it more feed.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Start them off early and plenty of feed.
Yeah.
Start mine beginning of January. As soon as the decorations come down, I start them.
Yeah.
They go in the diary room in the warmth then.
Usually do mine Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day? I'm starting some new ones this year. I'm trying Sharks. I think it's called Shark's Tuff.
All right.
Or Shark's Tail, something like that. I've seen it on the internet. I'm going to try that one next year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Another one.
People, I'm going to call it a night.
Yeah. Thanks,
Good night,
Mick.
Mick.
Next week.
Everybody.
Next week.
See ya.
Cheers, people.
Bye.
Bye.
Ta-ra.